Good morning, guys. You say good morning. This is Lily, my youngest daughter, and I have her here today because I'm going to teach you guys how to do a nasal lavage or a nasal aspiration or a nasal saline wash. All three of those are kind of the same thing on an infant. Why this is important is because babies are obligate nose breathers. So if any of you have little kids, you know it takes them a while to figure out the coordination of how to blow their nose. Yeah, and this is one reason we see so many ear infections in little ones, because they have, they get a virus and they have a ton of mucus buildup and they just can't clear that mucus. And then that mucus sits in their sinuses or in their ears, and that fluid that is stagnant starts to be perfect breeding ground for bacteria, which causes ear infection or sinus infection. So today you can kind of see little boogers going on. She's pretty happy. She's not sick anymore, but her body is trying to clear out all of the mucus. So we are going to do a nasal aspiration today, and I'm going to use a couple of my favorite products. All right, so what I've got here today is the nose Frida. This is one of my favorite nasal aspirators. It's just really simple. It has a filter that you can change in and out. Obviously, if you get any type of liquid into the filter, you're going to want to change it. And then Little Remedies nasal spray. And all this is pressurized saline. That is all that is in this bottle, which I love because you're not getting any of the extra junk. You're not putting anything up your baby's nose that's chemical related. Literally the only ingredients you can see there are water and sodium chloride. So salt water, pressurized, great. The other thing I'm going to use today is the Honest Company Organic All-Purpose Healing Balm, because after you wipe their noses a million times and suck their boogers out, their nose typically gets pretty raw. And then I just have a really simple tissue. Very easy. Everybody's got those around their house. So I'm going to show you guys the best position that I think is the easiest to suck out a baby's nose, because you want to be as quick as you can. So they don't like it, and if they're flailing around, they can rip that nasal aspirator right out of their nose. So positioning is really key here. And then it's also a security thing for them. So Lily is almost 7 months old, so you can see she's grabbing everything. She's very, very active. But if you have a younger baby that's not quite as active, you're probably going to want to swaddle them before you get them into the position, because that will help them feel more secure. So I'm going to tell you guys step by step what I'm going to be doing, but once I'm actually doing it, she's going to be screaming. So you'll probably won't be able to hear me as well. But the whole idea is you're going to take your nasal aspirator and put it up one side, and then use your saline, and you're going to be putting the saline up the other side. And you're going to be spraying your saline up into one nasal passage while you are sucking everything out of the other side. And this is really what creates movement for that fluid. This is what we did in the hospital pretty much every hour for kids that had a ton of mucus buildup. We just did a nasal suction with basic saline for them, which is something you can do at home. So, all right, so let's get started. You ready? Yeah. Okay, so I like to get down on my 2 knees, and I'm going to put her head here in between my legs so that I can steady it, so that it is not going anywhere and I'm not poking her eye with it or anything. Once I normally get her down here, she knows what's going to happen, so she doesn't get super happy about that. Okay. So then I'm going to do my saline and get my nasal aspirator ready. And this is how I do my saline with my thumb. If you get your thumb on that button. And this is where you're going to want the tissue to get all of the stuff out. So now I'm going to do the other side. Okay. All done. That was it. You did really good. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you guys all the stuff that I just got out. Because that's the key. But you can see all of that junk was inside of her nose. And so that is really going to help her breathe better. So when you want to do this, and you can see she recovered pretty fast. She's not too upset about it. So when you want to do this is when especially if baby's younger and baby's taking lots of bottles, you are going to either bottles or breastfeeding, either one. You're going to want to suck out their nose before they eat. So that way they're able to eat more efficiently. And then you're probably going to want to suck out their nose before they go to bed. And then again after they wake up. So that's why we're doing it this morning, because laying flat, she's built up a ton of boogers overnight. And so if you do that nasal lavage 4 to 5 times a day with a sick baby, you are going to see so much improvement. That saline dries out their nasal passages, helps the mucus. Obviously, you're extracting the mucus, you're taking it out. But the saline itself helps to cleanse the nasal passages and the sinuses. And it's something very minimally invasive that you can do with your child before you would have to, like I said, take them to the doctor for antibiotics or whatever it is that you would have to give them for a sinus infection or a worsening cold, cough, or flu. Thanks for tuning in, and best of luck with all your booger sucking days.